What's happening YouTube? In this video I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how I take this blue cab in Adobe Lightroom Classic from blue to yellow with the brush tool. If you guys are interested, keep watching. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put on a preset or just edit the photo in a way that you actually want it to look before you make the color adjustment. In this case, I'm going to use my KSCP main preset and I'm going to go ahead and slowly begin to adjust everything that I want to make it look and feel a particular way. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and turn on the enable profile corrections, bring back the vignetting a little bit, and that basically just straightens out the photo from, and just sort of removes that vignette. All right, great. So the next thing you're going to want to do is really important. Now, in order to do this trick, you want to go ahead and click on this kind of circle tool here, and then you want to click on brush. Now this is really important. So in order to do this, you want to make sure that you're starting to actually outline the parts that you want to change the color on. Now, because this is a very particular item, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Z, I'm going to hold the space bar, and I'm going to drag the image to the parts that I need to color in. And slowly by surely, I'm just going to ensure I'm actually coloring in just the blue components of this entire vehicle. Now, if you end up, sort of coloring in things that you didn't want to, like that, you can just press Command Z and go back and actually redo it. Okay, great. So we've selected every single part of that cab. Now, a couple of tips that you want to sort of be mindful of in case you make a few mistakes. So let's just assume you are, painting or brushing away at the part that you want to change the color of, and you do something like this. Now, you've probably done that mistake and you've painted a few other areas, and then you realize that that actually exists, and then you don't want to undo the work that you currently did by pressing Command or Control Z. So instead what you can do is come across to the right hand side and press this erase button, and what it does is it actually uses the brush to then erase at the part that you made a mistake for, so then you can just take it away. And so then when you're done erasing everything, you just go back to the right hand side, press A, and then you can go ahead and start painting again. Couple other tips: if you want to zoom in, you press Z or Command and Control plus. Hold spacebar down and you can just quickly go ahead and look at all the parts that you've zoomed in and parts that you maybe want to sort of touch up and do a little bit more of, just like that. Now, let's just assume you're brushing away and you don't exactly know what you're brushing. If you go ahead and click on the brush itself and then press O, you can actually toggle back and forth between the highlighted parts of what you're actually brushing and what it looks like without any filters applied to the brush. Now it actually comes to the fun part, the part where we go ahead and change the color of the tab. So you want to make sure you go ahead to the right hand side of the actual panel of Lightroom and make sure the brush is selected. Now, the part that actually changes the color of the entire tab is the hue button over here. Now, as you can see, if I slide it left and right, the color begins to change, but there's nothing actually yellow. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to play around with the sliders at the top and make sure that we can, set the groundwork to ensure that we get yellow, and then sort of go from there. So the first thing is that I want to make sure I click on the temp and go all the way to the left hand side and drag it to around about, say, that's good. Make it a little bit more blue. Next, I'm going to go to the tint and drag this to the right hand side and go to, say, probably around about 35. I'm going to increase exposure just a tiny bit. And maybe something around about, probably there's good. And then I'm gonna go down with the contrast and make it a little less contrasty. So perhaps there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and skip highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, textures, clarity, and dehaze. They're not really important to me, but what I am gonna now click ahead and go is adjust the hue button here. Now, as you can see, we've got a few more colors here that we didn't have before. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag it to the right hand side, and I'm gonna drag it to about probably around about here. Now that's pretty yellow. I'm gonna increase exposure a little bit more, maybe drag this a bit to the right hand side. And now comes the final part, is saturation. So I'm gonna go down to saturation, and I'm just gonna increase that a little bit more so you get that bright yellow kind of orange cab vibe. And that's it. Now, once everything's done and you've locked it in, you're happy with that, just press enter, and we've came out of the actual mask. Enter one more time, and we're back to the actual screen. And this is exactly how I change a subject color of anything in my photo to any other color that I want. Bear in mind, it just comes around to actually playing around with the sliders to get the color that you really want to adjust. And if you are unhappy to it, all you have to do is double click, the sliders back to the original part, and it returns back to normal. And then Command Z if you want to sort of bring it back to where it was before that. So happy editing, guys. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below, let us know what you enjoyed about it, and press subscribe with the bell icon on so that you guys can stay up to date with more weekly tutorials, more weekly videos, and learn along as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.